Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Real Estate Matters. For over 11 years, the voice of real estate in Flagler County and Palm Coast, Florida. I'm Toby Tobin, publisher of GoToby.com. I'm a contributor to the Palm Coast Observer, and I'm also a Florida licensed realtor with Landmark Group at Compass. Co-host Anna Maria Long is in the studio with me today. Hello, Anna Maria.
Hi, Toby. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. For those of you who are watching the video podcast and you see this humongous bandage on the top of my head.
I didn't do it.
No, I cut myself shaving.
Yeah, that's the story. Mm-hmm.
It's right up there where my hairline used to be. So thank you to our sponsors. Our lead sponsor is Veranda Bay, which is a private developing community on John Anderson with lots and luxury homes. It's an intercoastal waterway community in Flagler Beach. They're actually annexing into Flagler Beach, but that is already their
address. Mm-hmm.
So it's a Flagler Beach. Be kind of cool to be on the intercoastal and have a zip code and a mailing address that says Flagler Beach.
It would be, yes.
Yeah.
On that side of the intercoastal. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they feature homes by Olson Homes, AR Homes by Arthur Reitenberg, ICI Homes, and Hulbert Homes. And they have recently opened a new section that's going to be featuring homes by Toll Brothers and Dreamfinders. Toll Brothers has already started their model home. You can find out more about Veranda Bay at going to verandabay.com. And we're also sponsored by the Flagler County Home Builders Association. That's where Anna Maria works.
Yes, it is.
And the Hammock Community Church on A1A in the Hammock, a mile and a half north of the toll bridge. Small enough to know you, but large enough to serve you. And that's my church, by the way, so if you want to come to the 11 o'clock service. They also have a 9 o'clock service, but I go to the 11 o'clock service. So let's run through quickly some September month to date. We're just barely a third of the way through the month. So these numbers are going to change a lot by the end of the month, but we're going to give them to you anyway. 71 homes sold via the Flagler MLS system. But a surprise, the median price month to date is $385,000, which is substantially above last year was, I have it was $324. No, it's not. I have a typo, so I can't tell you what it was last year. But it was in the 350s, I think, or 360s. Days on market, 57, which is down a little bit from the last few weeks that we've been reporting. The 250,000 and under, which we track every week, 4 of those homes sold in that category, only 1 for cash. So I wonder if we're seeing an exit in the investor market. But they're still selling very quickly down at that end of the market with only 10 days on market. Mm-hmm. The upper end of the market, $1 million plus homes, 4 of those also, but 3 of them were cash. Days on market, 119, which is more typical for the more expensive homes. 1,355 homes listed. That keeps us in pretty much the 6 months of inventory, which is a neutral market. Homes pending, 327, and actually both of those numbers, homes listed is down somewhat from a week ago and from the first of the month. And homes pending is up from a week ago. So sniffing a little bit of positive vibe out of those numbers.
See if that continues.
Yeah, I think so. The median price of the homes that are pending is $385, and we're running right now at 97%. The median closing price is 97% of the median listing price. So take 385 times 0.97, and you get an idea of what the homes are going to close at over the next month and a half. Here's a shocker. Single-family permits listed or pulled in August, 98 versus 293 last August.
The last time it was close to this low was in, I believe it was April of 2020. We all know what was happening then, and it was for COVID. 88.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
88 permits, April of 2020.
The Gindex is down from July from 4.9 to 4.14. And the Gindex is named after Bobby Ginn, who kind of put us on the map 20-some years ago, 25 years ago. But it's a number that I invented, and it's basically the ratio between the number of homes listed and the number of homes pending. And it seems to be a pretty good indicator of the general health of the market. So the main topic today, we're going to, last week we went over a recent posting on gotoby.com that was talking about, does growth really pay for itself, and is that the question we should be asking? And we argued, I think, conclusively, since it was my idea in the first place, it's easier to be conclusive. But anyway, that if that's really not the question we should be asking is, does growth help or hurt existing residents? And cost of government's going up, so your taxes are going to go up anyway, whether there's growth or not. But I think we proved that your taxes will be going up at a lower rate if you're an existing homesteaded resident than if we had no growth.
Right. And that article is up on gotoby.com. So if you missed the show, you can, or if you want to get a little more information than what we talked about, it's there.
Yeah. So gotoby.com was quiet for a couple of years because we had some health issues and other issues in the family, and my health issues are now, other than this thing on my head, have gone. So it's a revitalized gotoby.com. So stay tuned. We're going to be having our video podcast on it by sometime next week. Okay, Flagler County is experiencing significant residential development, but not as significant as the people on social media would say, and we talked about that to some extent last week. But people have, I lived in Grand Haven for the first 11 years that I was in Palm Coast, from 2000 to 2011, and we still have a lot of good friends there. But we knew people in Grand Haven that never went as far west as US 1. Where they tended to stay on the compound.
Yeah, you don't really have to go over 95 if you don't want to.
No, well, and Grand Haven is an amenity-rich community too. I mean, it's got a couple of places to eat and drink, and
you could roll around in a golf cart and get groceries delivered, and you're pretty much good to go.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, lots of people really don't understand what's going. They'll hear the name of a new community, and they'll wonder where that is. Yeah. And, I think there are probably a lot of people in Palm Coast that have never been driven through any of the Seminole Woods sections. Right. For instance, that's at the south end of town.
Or they'll see a sign go up and be very curious of what is that going to be?
Or trees being cut, and they'll, of course, jump on the bandwagon all about that. But anyway, I've been gathering data, doing research for 20 years, and I've got a mass of spreadsheets and a wealth of information, and I put all that together on a map. And what I did was, and it's a Google map as the basis, functional map, but what I did is I took the communities and segregated them into established communities, and then communities, and that would be like Grand Haven would be an established community. Even the conservatory I have as an established community. They're still building new homes there, and Palm Coast Plantation as well. They're still building,
all the infrastructure's
the infrastructure's there, and they are truly
they're functioning,
viable communities. Yeah. Their community centers the amenities are done. Everything's ready to go. They're just some vacant
HOAs
lots
are likely in place and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I've got the communities that are under active development, like the communities along US 1 north of Palm Coast Parkway.
That still have like phases still being put in, for example?
Well, they still have phases to go.
That would be active development, that they're in like phase 2 out of 5, for example.
Yeah, phase, the active development, they have to actually be moving dirt. When they start moving dirt,
that puts them in the active category. Okay.
And then I have another section for the permitted or entitled, but, the new Del Webb community that's going to be going up on State Road 100 near Old Kings is in that category. Although the original development was approved over 20 years ago, nobody's moved any dirt yet.
Right.
And that one has some history. It was originally approved for, 2,500 residential units, most of them multifamily apartments, but it was something people never talk about is that developers are not always trying to increase density. Sometimes they come in and reduce it, and that's what happened here.
Yeah.
That project is now down zone to, well, not down zone, but down density to 750 single-family homes.
Significant decrease.
That's a significant decrease.
Yeah, because normally a developer will ask for the maximum to start because it's much easier to ask for a decrease than it is to ask for an increase.
Well, that's not an uncommon strategy. The government does it when they pass the maximum tax increase.
Yeah, right. And then they work their way down. Your millage rate and all that.
They get to look good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is absolutely a little bit of PR there.
So, and then the final category is just they're in the process. They're trying to get entitlements. They've applied for zoning because we have to go through so many stages to develop a new community. You have to, you have to buy the land, but even before you do that, you've got to do your due diligence. You got to find out, how. You typically like to see a wetland delineation survey, which tells you how much upland you can really develop
what's usable.
And what's the layout. Because, if you have a term most of our listeners probably are not familiar with is single-loaded and double-loaded roads. A single-loaded road might have wetland or a lake or something like that on one side and then homes on the other. But for every 100 feet of road, you only have 100 feet on one side. A double-loaded road has homes on both sides. And these are the kinds of things you have to lay out because that affects how many lots you're going to be able to sell and what your ultimate yield is going to be. So we've got to take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back and more on this subject.
Hi, this is Ken Belshie at Veranda Bay, inviting you to see over 40 new, never-released home sites. Phase 1 sold out in record time, so don't miss your chance on Phase 2. All home sites have planned water access with resort-style amenities. These are big, estate-sized lots. Schedule your private showing now at verandabay.com.
On the water, beyond belief, Veranda Bay.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying with us. This is the second half of Real Estate Matters, sponsored as a lead sponsor by Veranda Bay, beautiful new developing community on the Intercoastal Waterway on John Anderson Boulevard in Flagler Beach. We're talking about a brand new article that went up on the 8th, introducing a new map that I developed based on data I've been collecting. There are literally thousands of hours behind this map.
Finally, so that's really what happened to your head. We extracted all the information from your brain and put it into this map.
Yes. You have to get it now while you still can. But anyway, for each of those categories of active, underactive, develop, or mature, existing, communities, the active development communities. You can turn these off on each one is a layer on the map, so you can, if you want to declutter the map, because there are well over 100 pins on that map.
So you can choose to only look at active or existing or.
And then I've got other subcategories. I've got single-family homes, apartment complexes, condominiums, gated or non-gated, and age restricted, or not. So that would be the 55 plus or 62 plus communities, and you can put those in so you can filter. And if you say,
so this is a really helpful tool for not only residents to know what's going on in their community, but for a realtor or someone who's potentially looking to come into our area and know what's available.
Developer builder that wants to keep closer tabs on their competition.
Absolutely, yeah. Or if you're just not from Flagler and you're looking at coming to the area, and I mean, I always see on like social media, what's an R section? What's a B section? I know our area can be confusing for that kind of thing.
And then you have the terms like bell tear, the Indian Trails,
right, and Seminole Woods, Pine Lakes,
and they overlap the letter street section.
They do. So like it's not always like Seminole Woods is S, but Indian Trails is an I.
I have those maps, and I think I might in a soon to come article, so you can see where Indian Trail starts and where it ends.
That will be so helpful.
And Country Club Drive, what sections does that touch? Does it go into the F section?
Yeah, where the kind of boundaries are.
Yeah, good idea. Thank you. I'll do that. So
I just keep giving you homework today.
I think I might make you an assistant.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, and you can search by subdivision name. There's a search bar, so you can, if you may not know whether Veranda Bay is classified as an established development or under development, you can just type in Veranda Bay and it'll find it. You can, when you click on either the name along the left-hand side is the whole list of all the pins. And then, of course, there's the map itself with the pins depicted on it. You can click on either the pin or the name of the community, and a little information box comes up, and it'll say that this was, some of them are sketchy information, but at least they'll typically say it's approved for 250 homes or for 79 homes.
Some of them are really detailed, even saying, because I was telling you that I had early access to this, which was very fun. But I used it to get some information, and I was able to let someone know what communities had some lots available for sale still, and which ones were completely done, and you're only going to be able to buy a resale home in there, and which ones were coming online, and also kind of exclude or include for them 55 or 62 and up. Super helpful. And then so you're saying you could do the search. So if someone was driving down 100 and for the first time, for example, saw the Del Webb community sign, they could type in Del Webb. And then,
but not while they're driving.
No, when they get home or to a stoplight or if they pull over to a Starbucks or something, to be very safe. And they could type in Del Webb into this map, and then the information that you have will come up.
And that's where the information about
beautiful.
The history of the development, how it was once approved. That was once called JX Properties, and it was a DRI, which is Development of Regional Impact, which they don't have anymore. That's been supplanted by Planned Unit Development in the county, PUD, or MPD in the city, Master Plan Development. They mean they all mean the same thing. But then it went through default when the market went potty and was bought inexpensively, and then it resurrected and was recently purchased by Pulte Homes, and Pulte is the parent company of Del Webb, and so we're going to have a Del Webb community in Palm Coast. But if you were to see if you go just east of that, you can see some trees being taken down and some work being done. You might wonder what that is, and you'll see a sign there that says, it's not Beach Village, Ocean Walk, maybe. It's a beachy sounding name. And you can look that up and find out that that's an approved apartment complex with 400 and some odd units that will be going up. And what a great location.
Yeah, the walkability is really good over there.
Yeah, and I mean, you can walk to town center if you're younger than I am. And actually walk or bicycle to the beach.
Yeah, the Publix is close by. Mm-hmm. And the shop, there's the restaurants in there. So
there's a Winn-Dixie.
And the Winn-Dixie, yes.
Winn-Dixie's
across the street.
Even closer, yeah. So anyway, those are some of the features of the map. I encourage you to, and it's up. It's there, so go
on it right now. GoToby.com.
GoToby.com. And it's, right now, it's the latest story put up, and it was put up on the 8th. And be sure to benchmark it, because you're going to want to go back, because this is a live living map.
Right. It'll be updated regularly.
If I update something and you go look at it 10 seconds later, you'll see the update.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I had in the article, I've got a section I call Perspective. And some of the things, to put things into perspective, development projects often stall and later resume, and that is reflected in the text boxes.
Yes.
Well, and by the way, it's not just text, because they're graphics. Sometimes you'll see site development plans, artist renderings.
As much as you were able to get on
as much
each
as I
one.
can get. And also you can get hyperlinks. So I have, for instance, with Veranda Bay, I have links to Hulbert's website. I have links to ICI's website. And where they have special landing pages for Veranda Bay. And I've got, in some cases, links to Homeowners Association documents. Even so, it's
so helpful.
It's got a lot of good information. But you're talking about history. Grand Landings serves as a prime example. Initially, it was envisioned by Landmar back in 2004 as a fly-in community, and it included an 11-court tennis facility and stadium court. And it has since evolved into a thriving residential neighborhood. Some parcels were spun off to become separate developments, and some are still in the early stages of development. But plans for the tennis complex and the airport access remain distant dreams.
That was my did you know for the week, and I did not know that it was going to be a fly-in, which makes the name Grand Landings click really good for me now. Grand Landings, like a plane flies in.
Good. Well, that's it for this week. We ran out of time again. We can finish this up again next week, I think. So if you have a question or a suggestion for Real Estate Matters or GoToby.com, reach out to me. You can find me at 386-931-7124, or you can email me at toby@gotoby.com. I'm Toby Tobin, and I approve this show.